Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of our Griz Tracks video. I'm AJ Mazzolini here with the Mazzolian.
And I'm Bill Speltz. I cover the Grizzlies for the Mazzolian.
And the Griz are coming off a bye week that was perfectly timed, as a lot of guys had some time to get healthy. And now Montana will be up against UC Davis this Saturday at Washington Grizzly Stadium. First off, Bill, let's talk about all those guys that are now back on the field.
Yeah, right. AJ, you used the word perfectly, and it was great timing for him. You talk about from quarterback Jordy Johnson to running back Trayvon Van, he's got kind of a sore elbow, to the tight end Mike Ralston, who really is important to their running game because he's about 250 pounds, and Mitch Saylor was filling in. He's about 215, so that's a big difference. You've got on the defensive side Justin Whitted, it's a strong safety, and Tonga Takaya is looking healthy now. Just a lot of guys, even their punter should be back this week, Stephen Shaw. So
up and down the board, it's a lot better. And most importantly, last time we saw Jordan Johnson, he was on crutches on the sideline, so not the case anymore. But there's a lot of Griz faithful that are having a very heavy sigh of relief because of that.
Right, exactly. AJ, I think that most folks feel like if they're going to make a run at the Big Sky Conference Championship, they're going to need Jordy Johnson. He's such a savvy veteran, and when the play isn't working, he can get out of it with his feet and run for a first down. We've seen him do that a lot. So, yeah, definitely, they're 2-0 in the conference. Their toughest games are ahead, but they got to be feeling pretty optimistic.
And Montana's going for 3-0 in Big Sky Conference play this week with UC Davis here in town. And Davis has had a bit of a tough season. Well, a pretty tough schedule, really. Their only win coming against a Division II team, Fort Lewis, this year.
Right, to play Stanford in their opener, that's going to be a tough one. And 2 weeks later, they played Colorado State. They played Eastern Washington and lost handily in that one. They've had some injuries, and they've been unsettled at quarterback, and so that's part of it. That last week, though, they played Ben Scott, a sophomore, his first start at quarterback, and he did really well. They racked up over 600 yards. So it should be a test for Montana's real good defense.
Yeah, and a lot like the rest of the Big Sky Conference, they seem to be pretty decent at offense and just nobody cares at defense. I mean, that game against the Cats last week that you mentioned, 77-37 for Montana State. So this defense isn't stopping anybody.
Right. I mean, that's a lot of points. The way I understand it, Montana State set a school record against FCS competition with the 77 points. Now, there are a couple of guys, as Jordy Johnson pointed out earlier in the week, that might be back for UC Davis, their defense. One is a safety, Charles Boyette. The coach has said in the paper over there at Davis that he's getting close to coming back.
Right.
I think he would make a difference. He would be a big help to their defense. Whether that means they can stop the Griz, that's still a matter of opinion, but anyway, they have struggled defensively for sure.
And on the other side, the Aggies are going to be looking at a pretty well-rested and rejuvenated Montana defense that they shouldn't be putting up 600 yards against Montana this week like they did last week.
You wouldn't think so, and if you look at the Big Sky statistically, Montana leads the league defensively, and it's not even close right now. They're allowing just over 16 points a game. And you can't say that they played a weak schedule. They play FBS Wyoming. They played
North Dakota State.
Right. So they played some tough teams, and they haven't played a team that can really throw the ball the way that an Eastern Washington can throw the ball. Now, UC Davis has showed last week that they can throw the ball effectively, so it'll be fun to see how Montana fares against them.
Right. Plus, they have last year's newcomer of the year, right, at running back.
Exactly. That's a good point. And Gabe Manzanares, He's struggled with a foot injury since the spring, but last week he looked to be his old self, over 130 yards rushing. So, yeah, they've got some balance there, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, pretty balanced team for the Aggies. And again, that game will be this Saturday at Washington Grizzly Stadium at about noon here in Missoula. And make sure to keep up with the Griz every day with Mazzolian and online with Mazzolian.com. And watch our weekly Griz Tracks videos up online Thursday evenings. Thanks for tuning in this week.